Spooders. Welcoming you back to the 90% cloud only, no encounters run, or is it a speed run? Is it a challenge run? I don't know what to call it. But yeah, but att vad som kan kvar så blir det let's start to this guy first here. Here it is. Maybe this actually gives you points to Barrett, so that maybe the thing with Barrett here, for example, is that maybe that is the thing that you have to talk to multiple times to get the points with Barrett. Okay, so cannot be HS at this point, but can you leave? No. I don't know that I will leave there. Well, because what if that promised land, then what if that actually gives you point with Barrett instead? Don't have any stuff equipped. Nope. Please. We should have kept my W with weapon accidents, but yeah. Because the key attack fight is going to be free, of course, but we need to kill the spiders as well. Let's talk about it first, of course. Keep in mind that there was a technical one back in the day for Final Fantasy VII, like back before, either it was before the PS3 came out and stuff like that, right? And it was like the intro sequence and stuff like that, like jumping from the train, you could see arrows in it and stuff like that, But I feel that those graphics that was at that point, basically, if those would have been like the cutscene graphics and then the graphics itself in game wouldn't have been as good, then that still would have been like great and stuff like that, because the Final Fantasy VII remake is nice, but imagine if they were an actual remake that were more like the original and stuff that, like it would have the turn-based combat and stuff that, and then it would instead be used expanded upon and stuff that, because that's of course obviously not what the remake is, because the remake could have been called Final Fantasy VII 1 and then Final Fantasy VII 2, or like 7 and then like dash and then 1, like how they did Final Fantasy X2, for example, and stuff like that. But it would need to be like Final Fantasy like 7 1 and stuff like that instead. But yeah, so we are bringing Kings into this because backlog, because they would die very, very quickly anyway. So, yeah. If I remember correctly, right, you get to keep all your. I forgot exactly how it worked. Can we leave? Yeah, we can. Now it's actually possible to leave. Most of that at this point, but yeah. Here. You could have said there, of course, but I don't think that we're going to need to. Oh, yeah. We won't set up the material yet until we reach the actual spider encounter, by the way. So yeah. I forgot though, is the encounter with the quote unquote thing that can give us death sentence, is that encounter like The power burst here. Yeah, probably want to have fire beam later on once we actually face against the actual boss and stuff there, but yeah. And I actually want to equip materia both on Gate Sit and on FFVII. But I said that I wouldn't allow, for example, like other weapons on characters. And I do believe it do still receive materia AP if the characters are dead. But because otherwise I'm just gonna throw the explosion at the boss and leave the two characters alive just to get more extra levels on clone and stuff that, you know. Because normally, yes, it's a clone solo challenge, right? Because most of the time I'm not allowed to attack with other characters, but there isn't any specific rule like set in stone or whatever, you know, and stuff that, because yeah. Break it open. Oh, a certain battle. Is it circuit that you hold down otherwise, right, to walk? Nah. So you basically walk here. Along. And here you get added effect material. Added effect means, of course, that you put added effect, for example, as material status, and then, for example, you can equip, like, you can equip this, and then it's both silence and sleep immunity. This is confusion and berserk immunity, minion toad immunity, poison, of course. This one is actually very good because this allows you to get both slow and stop immunity from the time. But you can also cause that with effect, and then you can use that as a thing to inflict confusion and sleeper silence, for example, minion toad, or inflict like bio. You inflict like slow and stop. Because you wouldn't inflict haste, of course, obviously, right? Because you know that's a positive effect, so yeah. Left slide. Oh. And get an ether. Looks pretty good. Keep my Yabra only over 17 at this point. And we'll get the black megaphone. And if this is... Yeah, it's double. Normally I will only allow the normal equipment here, but this is just because I want to have AP on a few specific things here for the attack fight. But the question is, do you... Right, so the spider's gonna be in the way in both places, right? You cannot just go here and then go like... that doesn't lead anywhere. Yeah, we need to go through there to get to the things, or do we just... Because all isn't necessary at all. We just slap on a bunch of all here and hope. Because keep in mind that this doesn't really do anything and stuff like that, but, you know, so we go. No, not elemental. Let's see if that's correct then. Yeah, someone stop. It gives you it immediately. You don't need to have it at a high level there, which is the good thing about that, I think. So now we have slow and stop immunity. That. And of course, you could combine it, for example, with Fox small there, so that to be immune to more stuff. Yeah, so the other effect is really good. Just do that. Ifrit. Want that to be Ifrit. We don't need long range. That's what else. Enemy skill. Enemy skill. Actually, do we throw the enemy skills on Kitsuit instead? Yes, maybe. But then we will need to keep him alive and stuff like that. We also have. Oh, so tranquilize. Tranquilize. That put enemy skill on him. Even though he only has 86 MP right now. Oh, give him Titan and give him Rammer to give him a little bit more MP. Let's restore here. Restore. Fire. X. Elemental poison on him. Which even up to soccer mode. Earth. Oh, yeah, I think that will do fine. Let's see how this goes. Oh, there's something a little bit immediately. With the guard here. Choke mode. Here normally it would be very useful to actually go with something else. The guard is 56. So I'm actually gonna probably use a Ether here. Then probably use the big guard against the other ones as well. You got the Molotovs here, you can still use though. Because Molotovs we cannot use on Material Keeper anyway. Because Material Keep absorbs 5. Okay, you do that. So we're trying to keep them alive here actually and stuff like that, you know, so we get experience and everything. Oh, was that skill level used up? That might have been skill level used up. I think we can poison him actually. Or this got a lot of damage. I think it's a weak to Quake if I remember correctly. Fire potion, that's nice. Oh, you can heal here. What? Still have. Yeah, we don't have Turbo Ether. That could be an issue, but we do have 2 high potions. We have 1 restore because, you know, normally we don't need more than 1 restore, so, you know. But we want this. It's a fairy ring here. This fairy ring is another status thing here. As you can see, it's actually poison and darkness. It's technically mean at this point, star penalty is worthless as long as you have the fairy ring because it's both poison and darkness. There's nothing up here right now. No, you cannot use that. Oh, and there's 2 more of the boss left that we need to fight. And I think about switching that really. Yeah, now we don't have enough Titan, damn it. That's a thing that would be really good to have Titan with. I will try and poison it though if possible actually here. Some shock mod at least. Wait, who's it that has poison? This character had poison, I hope that device that didn't go too low. If it can cast on actually. That's where 13 that does the poison, yeah. So we'll have damage with door course obviously. I think I really want out of cast because yeah, even though we don't have so I think if we're already up here then we can like do enough damage to maybe defeat it while it's still stunned. But poison effect, that's good, and then we cast Molotov. One Molotov. Let's go and kill this person. Anyway, I'm actually turning down the volume just a little bit. It might be a bit too loud at first. I think we can get these technically from this guy as well, not only high potions. We can get anything that time. But that's a level up. That specifically fits it, which is actually good. So right here we get an potion. There's this ether. That's the explosion. I think the other one is where the turbo ether is, so we have 12 neutralizers. But isn't the sting bomb, isn't that technically halving your HP that you cannot die at 1 HP from the sting bomb, I think? But yeah, what we're doing here now is actually we're exiting. We're exiting and then we're resting up, basically. So yeah. No, I don't think there's any chance that we're gonna quote-unquote master the all materia. Maybe. And of course, once we're done with this dungeon, we're switching kits it right back to use the yellow megaphone and stuff that, And technically, the reason why I allow the black megaphone here is because it's actually weaker than the yellow megaphone and stuff that. Because normally it's just going to be their default equipment, and sometimes I will allow accessories on them, because we did allow that on Barrett, for example, for the dying fight. So what is it otherwise that you use Molotovs on? I think it's mostly on the palm fight that we will be using Molotovs as well. Yeah. Yes. I can't leave this door open forever. Gate of Nowhat is what it's called, actually. The actual real name. It's weird to have no music. Do we have a tent, by the way, that we can use otherwise? Oh, no. Let's hear right, yeah. I thought that you could buy that somehow. Nah, you're not allowed to buy the drink. How much is it? 109. Okay, good. Maybe it's exactly perfect. I don't think we need more tranquilizers yet though. Because keep in mind for the last spider we can use them on the MP that we have needed instead there. Now we do need to get the kill of course against the death sentence guy. Death sentence guy, stuff like that. So I think we might go for first. So let's do this by the way. Let's do this. Just to make sure, let's just do a safety save here. Because there's a specific encounter we want. We can encounter more than one at a time of these enemy. And one that can give death sentence. But I think that there's several enemies actually here that can give death sentence. I don't know if we pick it up otherwise, right? If you don't get it here. One of the other places where you can get death sentence. You know, so like how much later is it, you know, that death sentence as in the game, you know, it's the question. Because why is death necessary? It's necessary for certain specific weapons, of course, obviously. But yeah, so, you know, I've talked about the fact that I want on a certain video, I want people to, you know, say like, oh, where should I make the guide for example, like obviously right after we're done with this, as I've said, and once we're done with the limit break only challenge, that we won't do any Final Fantasy VII cents for a while until we're done with all the other challenges that we're currently doing, except maybe for the Final Fantasy X one, because that's just going to take forever. That's the thing we need. One more thing we need at least, so let's automatic here actually. And we go for the snakes. Hopefully this doesn't kill the snakes here. Because if the snakes die too early, then that's bad. This guy in the middle, by the way, that we need to actually kill. We are going to need to eat breath in here. Actually, that's why we do it, kids with actually. The middle guy, by the way, is the guy with the death sentence. Keep that in mind. I don't know what the chances are for him to do the death sentence, by the way. What's the actual chance for him to do it? That's the question. That's a technical thing, because I think Red 13 would do that. At least I'm not say they will death sentence. It's on quick characters, now we just kill him. Well, nice, very nice. Yeah, that's the same amount of XP almost, or slightly more than the Unova fight. Because that is 128 AP and stuff that for. So now we have, now we both have enemy skill here, death sentence here, as you can see. Both of them has death sentence. Could equip something else here, of course, obviously now. Yeah, we could death blow here, we could steal here. Death blow and steal. You could otherwise just go with transform, because transform is still worth that 300,000 that we saw. Let's do that, which is decent. Actually, maybe transform and lightning. Let's go with that. Even though we don't have them here on the top here, on the top row. So that is still useful. In here. Because now we do have death sentence about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 and off. So that's their sentence. We could of course also have forced suicide at this point, and we could have. Oops. I did not meant to get that. Good that I realized that. So yeah, no all materials leveled up yet, so yeah, keep that in mind. And now we can defeat Snake. Or Snake, burn, I mean, or the spider enemy. Right, then we need to go this way. We need to go the main way. And then I believe there's going to be a turbo ether behind here. Or regular ether. Poison first. First. So did not land to pop poison then. And someone's disking us like really big QBs and stuff, like a lot of them were pretty short and stuff that, but they were very effective. Sticking bomb in the floor. Nice. Why did he attack close so many times there? Yes, he cannot kill you with steam bomb. That was a bit scary there, actually. East. Front row. We got turbo ether here, yeah. There's a turbo ether that we have access to, and we put fire ring here, beam into most of his stuff. So what is our value? Yeah, so that is going to level up no matter what from the boss. Because the boss isn't going to give you that low, but we need to make sure that Red 17 and Kids dies. The boss. about that warrior. But then we haven't picked up flamethrower either on the skill here. Don't have the flamethrower either. Don't have the laser, of course. The laser I think might not actually be until Northern Crater. I'm so happy to see guests. Kino talk, show you. Kino talk, show you. I fucking hate Aspen. Hate Aspen Blard. Aspen. Fuck your body. Fuck your body. Yes, take over him. That is nice. That will speed up something. Now, don't go to instead. So burn kids, please block. Yes, kids. I want to do actually with kids if it's possible here. I want to actually. He's already like himself. Can I want to do dice in the boss actually? He's ass pilling my dog. Stop ass pills in people. Fucking dirty ass boss like this is my ass pill. It's shit. Only the 50 evil boss. Explosion. You look very unhealthy. Let me give you an explosion. People also look unhealthy here. I'm like explosion on me. Oh, but doesn't find damage that exactly his health. Let's see here. Do we get AP for the dead part members? We do not. We get twice the staff. Okay. Yeah, so you do not receive AP for dead party members. And I feel with the black megaphone stuff here, but still worth using actually, I feel like, you know. Right. And now back to Kindle. Back to Power Wrist. Right? Back to Power Wrist and back to Yellow Megaphone. But we don't need to do the setup yet. We get the gravity. How much is it gravity needs for the level? Quake is 6,000. Yeah, Quake is 6,000. Quake is 6,000. Quake is a big jump up from ice and fire and lighting and stuff that the first level. Poison is 5,000. And gravity is 10,000. Yeah, gravity requires a lot. But I forgot that gravity actually costs a status thing. What are the statuses if I go on attack? Right, no, none of them are there. That's interesting. Actually, we don't need to heal even, because we actually do get a story heal, I believe. Holy fucking cosmic. half of the gas to keep. Because he became stoned because of them attacking with a certain thing. It was supposed to be actually that it was the poison that caused stoniness. It wasn't the arrows themselves and all stuff like that. Because these things were not ghosts back in the day, of course they were alive and stuff like that, so poisonous arrows. Of course, technically Red 13 in his own species age is actually 48 or whatever it is. Yeah. But it's not exactly dog years that they're going for basically and stuff like that, so yeah. Well, doctors say that he's like a 16 or 17 or something like that, and that is 48 or whatever. It's why, like his race can become like extremely old and stuff like that, Just that they live longer than humans, so most of that. And I don't know how long the time skip is supposed to be at the end of the game, or if it's said. What if it said the time skip? Not because obviously right that Red 13 is super old and stuff like that. But the question is, how did the Red 13 get children and stuff like that, Because obviously that would imply that there would still be females race left somewhere, Except you never see another one. Stuff like that. But again, it could also be just that the places you go to the game is very, very limited and stuff like that, and it isn't the entirety of the world and stuff like that, that you go to the game. Shall we bring him? We can bring Kicks as well. And he just shakes his head. Kids eat really useful buttons. Wait for me, I'm coming. Should I believe we should be able to be just now inside the boundaries of the country? So. Because both of them are on 12 here. Both of them are constantly up here, so we can gain them off the level 0 as well. So we're spreading out the levels, so we see it was right. Now we saw how we're not in the full heat, so that's it. I would probably need to go and shift afterwards, so that I should actually wait it for becoming back needing to shift first before we started. Right, so now the bug is fixed. And now finally we get to what sound that should be here. You can, and I like how powerful this is, by the way, when you're coming here the first time, right? Because from this distance already, when you're here, basically, how far away can you see it? You don't see it here, you don't see it here, you don't see it here, but there, you can see it immediately. And you know from the way the mountains look in the game, right? Because you're later flashback, you know what the mountains look like. You know that, oh shit, that couldn't be anywhere but Nibelheim. When you see that from that distance, basically. And then when you check here, and basically, you see it on the other side of the river. Yeah, Cosmo area, and then you immediately pause when you get here just to make sure. And you see Nibel area, and you're like, oh shit, wait, there's a city there. And you're like, oh shit, this is Nibelheim. It's like that, which is like huge. Most of that's, you know, huge. So huge. Yeah. But how does Kate know about that? Because Kate isn't there for the thing. So again, write this quote-unquote confirms the fact that Kate has something to say about this, and the fact that Kate didn't listen to it. And so that, yeah, I just write so that it must mean that Kate, you were meant to actually get him early and stuff like that, and maybe that's why you see him in that place that you're doing there in the game and stuff like that. He has something else source. We'll be getting all the sources here. Stuff like that, so yeah. Let's get up here. See? Yeah, let's sell first here. Oops, wrong button. I need to see it so fucking badly. So we sell the device staff for 1600, we sell the microphone for 1400. Okay, everyone, I need to stop. Because otherwise I'm gonna fucking shit myself. Oh, how it hurts. God damn it. Right, and I'm stopping the recording now, and then, you know, I'll be back.